Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we are looking at the Scions and Spellcraft deck that is coming out for Final Fantasy. So this one here is based around Final Fantasy 14 and specifically around the Shadowbringers expansion. This is based around controlling the game, making yourself kind of get advantage while opponents aren't, slowly draining people of their life force and gaining life yourself, as well as casting non-creature spells. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the new cards here. First up, we have Knight's Blessed. So she has Vigilance, and then at the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life, keep in mind that's if a player, so it can technically count if you lose 4 or more life. So, it's going to make combat harder for people, to be honest, because if they go and hit other people, then they're going to potentially give you card draw. Then, whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. So that is damage as well, not life loss. So that means that if you give her stuff like Infect, she will deal poison damage onto people. There's a bunch of different ways to make it so that you can take advantage of the fact that she deals damage instead of the life loss, which you would normally see on a creature like this. We've got Graha Tia Scion Reborn as our secondary commander here. So they have lifelink, and then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay X life, where X is that spell's mana value. If you do, you're going to create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token with X +1/+1 counters on it. Do this only once each turn. However, that's each turn, so you can do that on any person's turn, once on each person's turn. It's great. I like it. A great way for you to build up a board, given the fact that given this control-ish kind of deck, you're not likely to have a huge amount of creatures. So this going to let you build up your creatures alongside other stuff that you're going to be building up too. We've got Ardbert, Warrior of Darkness. So he has, whenever you cast a white spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each legendary you control. They gain Vigilance until end of turn. Whenever you cast a black spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each legendary you control. They gain Menace until end of turn. So you gain advantage from casting white and black spells. Interesting, cool, weird to see in a like a control-ish kind of deck. I would have thought that would be more like a combat-focused-ish deck, but still, it's a way to buff up your Y'shtola, buff up, your Graha if you're using him as your commander. Yeah, good. We've got Emmett Selch of the Third Seat. Now, this is what I would expect to see from a control-ish deck. So spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast. And then whenever 1 or more opponents lose life, you can cast a target instant or sorcery from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. So that means that any kind of, Swords to Plowshares-ish kind of stuff that you put into your graveyard. Now you make someone lose life, boom, now you get to cast it again, do all those kind of control-ish things again, which is really cool. Potentially cast your counter spells again and others as well. There's just so many ways to take advantage of this. We've got Estian Valenu, and I probably butchered the heck out of that. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter onto him, and he gains flying until end of turn. At the beginning of your second main phase, you draw X life, and you lose X life. You draw X cards, and you lose X life, where X is the number of opponents who are dealt damage by Estian or a dragon this turn. Or a dragon, which is interesting. I assume that there must be something to do with dragons in within Final Fantasy 14, but I don't know a huge amount about it, so I assume that's probably relevant there. We've got Hildebrand Mandeville, which we've seen before. Gives all your creature tokens +1/+1, creates zombies, and then if he dies, you can cast him from your graveyard as an adventure. Yeah, really interesting, and I love the art for it. I just find it hilarious. There's just this cat chick in the back going bomb, here, have a bomb, and he's just yeah. Yeah, anyway. We've got Krill Baldician. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may return target creature card with mana value equal to that spell's mana value. So it does say equal to, unfortunately, not equal or less or anything. From your graveyard to your hand. Do this only once each turn. So a nice kind of recursion there. Whenever you cast an artifact, you get to bring back a creature to your hand. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. We've got Lease Hexed. So it has prowess. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. As long as you cast 2 or more non-creature spells this turn, she has double strike. Good combat-based helper for your non-creature spells. Yeah, I like it. It's good. We've got Papillamo, Totolomo. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, they deal 1 damage to each opponent. You gain a life, and then you can pay for, tap, sacrifice. Each opponent loses life to this turn. Each opponent who lost life this turn sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. We also have, like, you know, the recursion here with Kryl. And, you know, that's like 2. So you just have to cast something that's 2 or less. 2. And then you get to bring this annoying named creature back to your hand, and then you can cast it again, and then, you know, sacrifice it again. Nice removal. You got Uranga. I'm butchering all these names. Whenever you play a land from your exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. So you can tap, look at the top card of your library, you may exile it face down, or you can tap until the end of turn. You may play spells exiled with them, and spells you cast this way cost 2 less to cast. That is a very, very interesting kind of mechanic. Yeah, I like that. That's very interesting. It's really cool. We've got Circle of Power. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Wizards you control have +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn. Was What's Her Face a wizard? I gotta go back to here. No, she's a warlock. So Graha is a wizard for the lifelink, but unfortunately the other chick was not. We've got Eye of Nidhogg. So this is an enchant creature. They become a dragon with power and toughness 4/2 and has flying, death touch, and is goaded. When this is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. That's an interesting goaded thing. Yeah, you could use that. You could cast it onto someone else's stuff. And then they have it, it's goaded, or you could put it onto something of your own, and then that's goaded. Yeah, pretty cool. We got Fandinel. What are all these names? Fandinel Teleforiacean. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, surveil 1. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant or sorcery in your graveyard. So Black Spellslinger card, that's really cool. I like it a lot. We've got Reaper Sigh. So there's a few different of the job select cards because that's pretty big in Final Fantasy 14. So this one has job select, which means you create a 1/1 hero. No, was it 1? No. Yeah, 1/1 hero token when it comes in. At the beginning of your end step, put a soul counter on this equipment for each player who lost life this turn. Again, each player, so yourself counts for it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter, and it has an assassin in addition to its other types. That's going to get out of control very quickly, right? Like, so it comes in, assumedly on the turn that it comes in, you make sure that everyone has lost life. So then it becomes +4/+4, right? And equip 2. Oh, that's insane. We got Transpose, draw a card, then discard a card. You lose 1 life. If this spell was cast from your hand, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token. So the first time you cast it, you're going to create that black wizard creature token. And the second time, because it's got the rebound, you're not going to, because it, you know, cast from exile that time. We got Astrologan's Planisphere, has the job select, create that 1/1 hero. And then equipped creature is a wizard in addition to its other types, and has whenever you cast a non-creature spell and whenever you draw your third card each turn, opponent's turns count as well, put a +1 counter onto this creature. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, that's going to get out of hand very quickly. Yeah, because non-creature spells, just any non-creature spells, is going to get that +1. Great. We've got Sage's Nolith. So that's like permanent prowess, right? Essentially permanent prowess. Sage's Nolith, job select, equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap target not attacking creature, and is a cleric. That's good. Really good. You know, just like a pseudo vigilance onto one creature, which is good. So then we've got these two. So this is actually a duo commander, if you use them as a commander. If not, when you play one of them, when it enters, you're going to get to tutor up the other one. So we've got Alphanod and Alisair. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Vigilance, and then whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card on Alphanad. And then Alistair has first strike whenever the second spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. That's good. I do love how they immediately did not use Flurry, because they like keyworded it as Flurry whenever you cast your second spell each turn with Dragonstorm, and then now they've keyworded it as something else. Assumedly it's on flavor, but I just love how they use Flurry and then immediately changed it. We got Blue Mage's Cane here. Job select. Equipped creature gets +0/+2, and it's a wizard. And then whenever this creature attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery from that person's, so whoever you're attacking, defending player's graveyard. If you do copy it, you may cast a copy by paying 3 rather than paying its mana cost. Oh, that's going to be crazy. There are some very expensive instants and sorceries, so now you get to potentially cast them for just 3. That's good. As well as it allows you to bypass like the color requirements. Like if you're attacking someone with red and stuff, you don't have red in your deck, you can pay 3 instead. We've got Hermes, Overseer of Elpis. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 bird creature token with flying and vigilance. And whenever you attack with 1 or more birds, scry 2. Not a huge amount of synergy with the rest of the deck, but I guess like it's creating blockers. Yeah, I guess. Like the bird part doesn't have a huge amount of synergy, but the rest does. We got, I'm not even going to try. Big dragon. A big dragon. Hralsvargal of the First Brood, I guess. So flying, vigilance, ward 2, Shiva's Aid. Whenever it enters or whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. That is huge. We've got white Auracite. Whenever it enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this leaves. But it's also a mana rock. So it's a mana rock that does that exile, which is good. That one's also in the main set. We got Champions from Beyond. When it enters, create X/1/1 colorless hero creature tokens. Whenever you attack with 4 or more creatures, scry 2, then draw a card. And whenever you attack with 8 or more creatures, those creatures get +4/+4 until end of turn. Oh boy, Jetmir decks with this is crazy. That is actually bonkers in Jetmir decks. Yeah, that's really, really cool. We've got Jance's Chakrams here. Job select. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has lifelink, and other commanders you control get +2/+2 and have lifelink. So you will equip this onto Graha, right? And then your other chick, your Stola, would get +2/+2 on lifelink. Or if you've stolen people's commanders, because it's just other commanders you control, not that you own and control. Yeah. It also gives the Performer type, which is only used within Unfinity at the moment. So that's interesting. We've got Summon Good King Mog 12. You get to create Moogle creature tokens. Then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a token that's a copy of non-saga token you control. And then finally, put 2 +1/+1s on each other Moogle you control. So obviously you want to go like, with Moogles, copying Moogles potentially here, because then you get like a huge thing here of creating your Moogles to be huge, which is just funny. We've got Taru. Whenever it enters, you draw a card, and target opponent may draw a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if it isn't that player's turn, create a tap treasure. All right, so this is going straight into my Bumbleflower deck. That is bonkers. You get to create a tapped treasure token. There, that's really good. We got Thancred Waters. So he has Flash. Whenever he enters, another target legendary permanent you control gains indestructible for as long as you control him. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he gains indestructible until end of turn. That is really cool. Great protection for your commander. Yeah, that's, I guess, the best use for it. Great protection for your commander. So into the top reprints. As I said, there's a bunch of reprints within this. There wasn't a huge amount of super duper valuable ones in, but there's stuff like, propaganda, and stuff that helps kind of protect you. We've got Relic of Legends. So tap down your legendaries to draw, to get mana. Snuff Out. This one here is actually huge. And I love the art for it. It's just so cool. I love that dress. Man, like transmog is a huge thing in WoW. I don't know if it is a thing in Final Fantasy, but if it is, I got to get that dress. If you control a swamp, you can pay 4 life rather than playing it, and you can destroy a target non-black creature. We've got Void Rend, a great counter spell. Crux of Fate. This one was interesting. So there wasn't a huge amount of dragons in the actual like deck. So it's interesting to kind of see this here. I assume it's a very big lore thing. And it's an interesting board wipe, destroy all non-dragons. We've kind of got this right after Tarkia as well. So there's a bunch of people playing their dragon decks. So yep, goodbye Miriam. We've got Archomancer's Map, a great ramp piece for white there that you're going to be able to get in, as well as it being a non-creature spell. Authority of Consuls, tap down opponent's creatures when they enter. They enter tapped. You don't tap them down, they enter tapped. And then also gain life whenever they enter. Sunken Ruins. This is an amazing reprint here. 22.25 currently for the filter land here. Seeing the reprint here is amazing. And looking at the actual mana base, it's not too bad. It's not amazing. You've got the filter lands in here. As I said, you've got the Sunken Ruins in there, which is great. You've got a couple pain lands. Actually, maybe it's only one pain land. But there's still a few of those tap lands that enter, and, you know, they're just like, you know, an island and like the idyllic beachfront. It's just an island and a plane, and it enters tapped, and that's its thing. You can tutor it up with the Archomancers, which is good, I guess. Like Archaeomancer's thing here. Oh no, that's only basic lands. So you can't even do that. Yeah, I don't know. It's not great, I guess. There's a few utility lands in here, which is good though, with like the Scavenger's Ground, which is good. You've got what was the other one? The Demolition Field as well, which is good because there's just becoming a huge amount of really strong lands. So kind of being able to remove those is good, but upgrading the mana base again is going to be a great upgrade to this deck. Now, if you are liking this content so far, make sure you subscribe, all that kind of stuff. The official Magic channel hasn't even put up these videos yet. So this is instant speed news. You know, sorcery speed would be if I woke up at my normal time and then did them when I had time. No, I have made time. I have interrupted my sleep to make sure you do these. I got up at 5 a.m. to start these videos. And yeah, so make sure you subscribe to get these news as soon as possible. Into the quick and dirty upgrades here. Quantum Misalignment is great. Create a copy of your Y'shtola. Now you're draining people for more, dealing damage to people more. It's also got Rebound, which is great because you get to cast it again. Ink Shield, huge way to control the battlefield. Make sure you're not taking combat damage, as well as flood the board with a huge amount of Inklings. Kirik, Song of Yawgmoth. A whole bunch of cards in here care about the mana cost, like your commanders care about the mana cost. They don't care how much you spent, just what the mana cost is. So this allows you to bypass that. It lets you take damage as well, which lets you be able to, you know, proc a couple, trigger a couple different things. So it's a good card to kind of have in this deck. We've got Dismember. You can pay this for just 1 and 4 life and then destroy a creature. Great. We've got Marnius Kalga. We've got a fair few things in here that are creating tokens. All those things that have like the job selector create tokens. Graha, I think that's how you pronounce it. I can't remember now. Creates tokens. So being able to create, you know, those and then be able to draw cards is good. As well as the fact that he can create tokens himself. And it also gives you a nice kind of blocker. We've got Campbell, just, you know, drain more from opponents, gain more life. We're paying life for things. Now we get that life back. Helm of the Ghastlord. This card's already gone up a huge amount. It's going to keep going up because anytime Y'shtola triggers, she's going to do this to each opponent. So you're going to draw 3 cards and also make each of those people discard a card. And also she'll get +2/+2. Great card. We've got Enduring Tenacity. Whenever you gain life, you get to deal damage to people. Again, Y'shtola is going to proc that constantly. Bolas Citadel. Cheat things out by paying life rather than their actual mana cost. And look at the top card of your library. And as well as, you know, you can use the second part to make opponents lose life, I guess, if you wanted to. And High Fate Trickster. you know, making sure that we can cast any of these non-creature spells on opponents' turns as well. Cheat in on opponents' turns like a propaganda right before they attack, just to deal that mental damage, because that's like the real part of control is the mental damage where, you know, they go to attack, they move to combat. They're like, okay, you're about to win. I'm going to swing in for you. And you're like, hey, so remember this? I'm going to bring in this propaganda. And the propaganda is really, really strong, right? Like, I'm going to win the election thanks to this. Good luck. Yeah, it's just just getting into that mental damage is huge. So I'd love to hear from you guys as to what your thoughts are on this deck based around Final Fantasy 14. I don't know a huge amount about Final Fantasy 14, but it's very, very exciting for me. This deck looks just really, really cool. So I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.